Welcome to Kicking It Local, the podcast all about the football community in South Australia. I'm your host, Johnny Kecko. In today's episode, I am joined by a 350 gamer, played over that by now, but also he is playing at one club and one club only during his whole career, and that is Croydon FC. I am joined by the captain, Luke Klimek. Mate, thank you so much for joining me.
No worries, thank you. It's a pleasure.
It's good to have you on, and before we go any further, your name, Luke Klimek, is not the actual... The what's written on your birth certificate. I'm not going to say it. I don't want to butcher it. What is it? Your actual name.
Yeah, so it's Łukasz. So I guess in English would be with a W pronounced.
Yep.
So yeah.
Łukasz.
Yeah. So L with a kind of a cross through it. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a traditional Polish name.
Yeah. So yeah, traditional Polish name. So translation for Luke in English. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you happy for me to go with Luke?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. No, let's go with Luke then. It's a lot easier than
Yeah, it
Łukasz.
is.
But it is a good name though. It's unique. But the Polish background, obviously, Croydon is now called Croydon FC, but we used to be Croydon Kings. Also, Polonia is another name for them as well. So that connection with the club, obviously, that stems back to your childhood, obviously, with a background of being Polish.
Yeah. So my connection is it goes back pretty far. You know, my family's been involved in the club for quite a while. So, my dad used to go when he came out from Poland, like in his late 20s. He kind of came out and he lived around the area and used to watch Polonia back in those days. And
Yep.
they had a lot of Polish players playing and. A lot of Polish players that were from the first division in Poland
Yep.
were coming over and playing. So probably all the way back from then. And then even my mum, she grew up on the west side of town. So she lived just around the corner from Polonia Reserve. So she used to go out and watch. And my uncle used to coach and my cousins have played. So
Yep.
yeah, it goes back pretty far. So
Yeah. So there's a lot of connections there for you.
yeah, it's pretty deep. So
Yeah. So you're only 32, is that, or
33.
33 now? Yeah.
yeah.
So you're still fairly young. So you're getting towards the end of your career, but you go back. So you would have. How old were you when you first started at the club?
So first year actually playing was under 14s.
Yep.
Was my first year playing for Croydon.
So that's my quick maths, 19 years. So roughly, you've been at the club.
Yeah.
So you're getting close to your 20 years. So what was it like starting there at a young age and getting involved in that club as well? Was it more than just football when you were there at that time?
Yeah, it's funny because I actually, a lot of people probably don't know, but I started my career as in like club career at Burkalla. Because I grew up on the south side of town, so my parents didn't really want to take me that far to Croydon, so it was like sort of a local club for me. So like I was playing for Burkalla for a couple of years, under 12s and 13s, and then first year was under 14s, and I just even when I was at Burkalla, my dad would still take me out to Croydon games on Saturday. So yeah, I just kind of loved it. Like, I remember particularly one game that I watched the first team when I was 13, playing for Burkalla, watching Croydon first team, and I just kind of like I said to my dad, I was like, I just want to play for Croydon. So yeah.
But that's interesting because you started at West Torrens, obviously because of the distance to drive. It was a big factor there. But what was it like being at the Burkalla first? Because now you had to go back there and play your games there because of the the things that's going on with the club moving locations with their home ground. So you had to go back there to their home ground. So what was it like to be there in those early days and starting your career at Burkalla?
Like Burkalla was a good club. It gave me a chance, I guess. The first club that gave me a chance, and I had a good first year, and then second year, kind of the coach wasn't really, I guess, my biggest fan, and it's kind of time for a change. But yeah, like I enjoyed my time there, and it's kind of a full circle, you know, last couple of years playing home games there, and it's changed as well, like a lot. Burkella's got a new ground, and yeah, it's a lot different to what it was back in the day. Yeah.
But now you found your way to Polonia, to Croydon FC. When you used to go there with your dad, what was the feeling like back then? Because I love the whole aspect of culture at clubs and that history and heritage that a lot of clubs have. You look at Adelaide City, West Adelaide Hellas, a little bit different now in their situation because they're almost a different club, but they've all got that history, and especially Campbelltown's probably one of the richest in that, and White City. What was it like for you from Poland, your dad from Poland, having that Polish background, being at that club as a young kid?
Yeah, it's amazing. Like, we used to go out on Saturdays and just kind of hang out with all the older Polish men. It was pretty much, you know, it was my mum's uncle was there, and a lot of Polish immigrants kind of just hanging out and speaking the language, singing songs in Polish. You know, it was a good time. Like as a young kid, you know, sort of everyone kind of loves you because you're a kid, and you know, you're friendly and all that. But yeah, it was something that I loved to do with my dad. So yeah, it's good fun. What
were the days like? Was it long days? Because was it just a football? Was it there more to it on those days?
Yeah, like sometimes we would head into the club before the game and have a meal, like an old Polish meal, you know, traditionally cooked, and you know, it's pretty amazing. Like the way the club was set up back then. We had a lot bigger crowds, you know, you could park around the oval, and it was, you know, when someone scored, everyone was beeping on the car and everyone was kind of going wild. Back probably 30 years ago, or 25, you'd have a lot bigger crowds back then, and the atmosphere was, a lot better than what it is these days.
Yeah, it's a little bit different now, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure, you know, you'd be lucky to get a couple of hundred people at games these days.
What are some of the things you reckon have some of the reasons you believe may have led to us having a different fan base than what we used to have back in the day, like the drop off that we've seen?
I think definitely kind of, you know, we had a mass migration, I guess, back in 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, you know, and it was a place for people to connect. It was, you know, the immigrants loved football, you know, and that was kind of their release. You know, they worked all week and then they went to their local club, you know. It wasn't like these days you can just turn on your phone and you can watch the Premier League or the Serie A. Like, it's just so easy to do. Like, back then you couldn't do that. So the local clubs were massive, like Juventus and, you know, Blue Eagles and West Adelaide and Croydon, you know. It was just, you know, Croatia, you know, it was huge clubs, and everyone, you know, you're supporting your nationality, so, you know, everyone's got that passion, whereas I don't think that connection's there at the moment. Yeah,
I can kind of understand that, because as the generations go, it's hard to keep it going. Is there any way you think that we can... Because you got to grow up in that era of your dad being there and his friends that he made from his homeland. But is there any way you see that would be to be able to reignite that with the current generations and clubs?
Probably needs to be a bit of a push to get back, you know, that ethnicity in teams, you know, whether it's Croatian, Serbian, Polish, whatever it is. I think that would definitely help, you know, because, you know, we love our nations, you know, whether you're Italian or whether you're Greek, you know, you still got that in your blood, you know, you love it. So, I think we need to push that a bit more than we've kind of, that segregation from all those names and all that has gone. And I don't think that's been a great thing for the fan base, I don't think. So.
No, well, we're slowly seeing it come back now. We got, obviously, the LA Croatia Raiders. We got FK Beograd finally back after changing to White City, which it means exactly the same, but just they had to change the language, which is a bit weird. But it's good to see that come back. The Hellas in West Adelaide. So Polonia in Croydon FC. Do you reckon we'll see that will come back eventually at some point, hopefully?
I'd hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah, bloody oath. Yeah, maybe back when or in the future when I'm on the committee. You know, yeah, that would be lovely to have that name.
Yep.
Yeah, back.
So you spent a lot of your time watching the senior men play with your father, but then you finally got your break in 2007. What was that like to make your debut at the club that you grew up watching?
Yeah, it was amazing. You know, it was something that I dreamed about doing. You know, when I was watching the first team, I was like, I just want to be like them. You know, I just want to be on that field and experience that. And it's just an amazing experience to play with. You know, just experienced players who been around the traps for a long time. And back then, it was we had a very experienced first team, so it was good to see that side of the game. What's
it like to play at that level, especially when you're coming through the ranks and watching as a kid, and then finally getting to play? What's the level like to try and get up there and play along those? Was there a bit of a high expectations after being there for so long for yourself? Would you put yourself under a bit of pressure?
It was a bit of a learning curve.
Yeah.
I remember I think it was one of my first preseason games. We were playing Campbelltown and they had Catanzaro and Fleetwood in the middle of the park. And
wow.
I was a 18-year-old who was playing one of my first games and playing against players, Catanzaro's played NSL and who was multiple Serge Melter medalist, and Fleetwood was an amazing player as well. So I got taught a lesson that day. But it was just a different level coming from reserves or 23s back in those days. And you just make a mistake, and you kind of get paid you pay for it. It's it's a different level to the reserves.
Did you always have the ambition to play for the club at a senior level? Yeah,
of course. Yeah, like I was a junior, and that was what was driving me was to play first team. And you play when you're a first team player. It's you look at the juniors and you think, do they want to be like you? And it's kind of like, it's a bit weird that, I remember when I was a junior, that's all I wanted to do. You know, play 18s and then play 23s and then play first team. So,
Then after that, coaching?
Or no? We'll see.
No, but you, so now you got the kids look up to you potentially. And does that feel weird now that you're at that level now where you got the younger generation looking up at idolizing you?
Yeah, it's weird, but it's super cool as well. Like it's, even just kids want a high five. It's just cool that they want a high five. Like they kind of adore you, which is amazing. And because I know if I was a 10-year-old, I'd be the same. It'd be the best thing in the world if I got a high five from one of the first team players. So
that'd be cool, because then obviously that could lead into them wanting to be like you one day and hopefully keeping that tradition at the club
hopefully
going.
That's what you want. You want to produce, have junior players that then turn into first team players. That's should be the goal for most clubs, and sort of works out the cheaper way, doesn't it? Instead of spending a lot of money on recruits from other clubs. Yeah,
bringing in the big guns. But talking about having success at the club into 2014 to 2017, some bit of success around the club with winning the grand final in 2014. You won the grand final there. What was it like to end a very long drought? I think it was 37 years or something since winning
like that.
In the league. So what was that like as a club, first of all, to win that after 37 years?
Yeah, it was amazing. 2 years before that we won the league. We were the best team over the course of the 22 rounds. So we kind of had a bit of success before. And then 2 years on after 2014, I think we finished third in the league that year. And then, we just went on an amazing run in the finals. You know, we beat Adelaide City, I think it was 4-0, Blue Eagles 4-1. Beat West Adelaide in penalties in the prelim. Like three of the monster clubs, and then played Metro in the final, who, you know, we would have been huge underdogs in that final. You know, we had a team that was, I don't know, average age was probably like 22. It was ridiculous, you know.
Yeah.
And then coming against players like Barbiero, Delosio, Tunbridge, you know, all those experienced players that Metro had, Godley, you know, as to get up and get the first championship in such a long time was pretty cool.
On a personal level, what was that like to win that, especially where you came from as a junior coming through and winning it for a club that meant so much to your family? What was that like?
Yeah, it's just, I don't know, it's hard to describe, you know. It's you want to be doing that.
Yeah.
You know, that's something that you want to be doing from such a young age. And Croydon was never a club that won big trophies. It's like we never won anything in 37 years, you know. It was such a long drought. We were always a bit of a yo-yo club, you know, to get promoted and then fall back down the year after or a couple of years after. So to have that success was, you know, it's just massive for the club, you know, because before that we weren't a strong club. So, yeah.
And then after that, 2015 is when you won the Cup, and you won another league as well in 2017. But the Cup one is also important because that led you into the FFA Cup, the debut, which was the second year of that Cup competition. You got on, even though despite losing in that game, you got on the score sheet. What was that like to get onto the national level? Because that probably was that ever a goal of yours to play on the national level?
Oh, you'd always, you know, dream of playing at A-League, you know, playing for Adelaide United and, one of the A-League clubs. But, that game was pretty amazing. We played Queensland Lions. They had a really strong team and they were really organised. They came at us really hard in that first half and put us under the pump, and we kind of weathered it. We, you know, it was only 1-0 at half-time. And then we conceded a penalty in the second half, which kind of, you know, 2-0 down was pretty hard to get back from.
Yep.
We made it 2-1, but, we actually got onto, I think one of our game was one of the later games. So we actually were on Foxtel.
Yep.
So I think my goal was actually broadcasted live on TV, I think.
Yep.
It was amazing to have Croydon on the national stage, and something that you wouldn't even think of back 10 years ago, because the FFA Cup was never a thing. So for such a small club that we are, to be on that national stage was just
You're one of a few from South Australia to get on that stage. I would say you're probably, because you look at Adelaide City, they're a massive club that's played on there. So you're smaller compared to them. So what did it mean to like the diehard fans of the club that had been supporting it for so long and that are still around at that point to see your club play at that level? And it was a home game as well, which was great as well.
It's pretty hard to know what it meant to them, but I'm sure it meant a lot to them. You know, it was they're so passionate about the club. You know, it was probably was a dream maybe of theirs. You know, that the club was on that stage, but it's, you know, just to see people's smiles and you know, see us do them proud. That
period of that success at Croydon, what was it like for yourself there? Was there any players that stood out to play with?
Oh, numerous. You know, it was such an amazing time for us. You know, we had players like Andreas Wines, who was banging in goals. Nathan Farrell, Rocky Visconti, you know, you could just keep going on and on. You know, we had such a strong team. Had Welshie, who then went on to the A-League. So that 2-year period was just a really, really good time to be at the club.
Yeah. You have still good relationships with a lot of them that have gone on, because obviously Rocky Visconti was there for a bit as well, like you mentioned. I've spoken to him. He spoke fondly of his time there at the club. Do you keep in touch with those ex-players that have gone on from the club?
Yeah, of course. It's like Rocky he's been at the club for, probably almost as long as myself. He was a young junior there as well, and he loves the club, and you never hear a bad word about the club from ex-players, so yeah. Yeah.
Well, actually, one thing I've always heard every time I talk about Croydon is your name being mentioned as well. Because a lot of the players that come through have either played with you or watched you from when they were in juniors, and they've all spoken about you fondly. And the reason for that as well is because you've been there for such a long time. 350 games this season in 2022. You cracked it, all at the one club as well. That milestone, I know the dates, everyone got a little bit mixed up on which game it actually was, but you finally got to do it. So I think you get to celebrate it 3 times compared to all the other. I think I gave you one date and then you celebrated on another date, but the actual date that happened was earlier. But you got to celebrate it nonetheless, and it's a massive milestone because 350, you don't get to see too many of those that happen at just one club as well. So that longevity at Croydon, what's that been like for you to be able to stay there? Is it hard to try and keep it up to stay at one club, or is it actually something you've always dreamed about, just playing for that one club?
Yeah, I guess it's an easier option to kind of go from one club to the next. That would probably be an easy option because you go through so many ups and downs. It's personally you're out of form, or the club's struggling, or maybe you're not getting along with a coach, or there's always stuff going on behind the scenes. So I guess it'd be easy to go to one club and spend a few years and then go to the next. But I think it sort of makes it a bit more special to be able to do it at one club and hit that milestone.
Because I spoke with Daniel Cox, who's just he's the captain at Northern Demons in the State League 2. He cracked 300 games for the one club as well, and I asked him a similar question, and I think I used you as the example as well. And he said for him it's a little bit different. It's easier because he is obviously in Port Pirie, which is 2.5 hours from any other club. So he's only pretty much got that one option. So he said if it was in the city, it would be a little bit different for some players to move around. But you obviously, you've got that temptation. Has there been a temptation to leave the club? Not because for any other bad reasons or anything, but has there been any other clubs trying to get you to move, to cross the border?
You get clubs asking for meetings, I guess, but it's sort of, I guess, dwindled down. The older I've got, it's But you definitely have clubs that ask, and it's always good to hear other clubs interested in you, and you obviously must be doing something right if that's the case. Yeah.
So is this the club you're gonna finish your career at? Do you reckon? Is that what it feels like at the moment for you?
Definitely NPL. I think I wouldn't play for another NPL club, but it just depends on how the body and the mind goes, how long I can play at this level, and once I can't, then it's a decision whether you play State League 1 or State League 2 or amateurs or just hang them up completely. But I do love the game, so it'll be a decision for the future whether that's the case or not.
With the connection you've had with this club for so long, once you do hang up the boots, when it does happen, because it eventually will happen, but do you see yourself coming back to the club and being involved still, or is there ever that desire to come back and help the club?
Yeah, maybe just a supporter for
a little while.
For the start. But I think I'd definitely, in the future, I'd definitely want to be involved somewhere, whether that's committee or coaching or, just helping out whatever way I can, volunteer, whatever it is. It's spent so many years there, that's sort of like another home for me. So
Yeah. 350 is a massive milestone to get. Not many people will get to that. What did the club do to celebrate that? Because I did see you get presented with a jersey from the club. So what were some of the celebrations that came around for that?
Yeah, so that week they sort of did like a social media thing every day. So I think Monday through to Friday,
Yeah.
you know, a post about, I think from my junior career to, I guess, to where I was at 350. So that was one of the things. And then obviously got chaired off, which was pretty nice. You know, Adelaide United gave me the Guard of Honour, which was really nice. And, you know, I got a lot of congratulations from, you know, from their players, you know, which was really nice. You know, they're just young kids kind of playing against a 33-year-old. So, but yeah, just for, I guess, a 16, 15-year-old to congratulate you is, you know, pretty nice. So, yeah, they gave me a presentation at the start of the game, which was nice. And yeah, just didn't get the job done.
Unfortunately, didn't go your way. But talking about the celebration, 7 days of lead up, they did the promotion on social media of your highlights throughout your career. What would you say, that was chosen by them, but chosen from your point of view, what are some of your favourite moments of the club and your time playing there and also being a part of it?
Yeah, I think you'd have to say the championships would be the best, you know. Even starting back from 2010, we won the old Premier League, which was, you know, now the State League One, to get promoted. And before that, as I said before, you know, we were a bit of a yo-yo club. And since we've been promoted in 2010, we sort of haven't dropped down. So that consistency's been pretty big. You know, that will stay with me for a long time, that championship. And, you know, 2012 when we won the league was massive. 14 and, you know, 17, I think, the championships are just, that's something special.
Those moments when you did win, what were the celebrations like for you guys back then? Was it massive?
Yeah, they were, pretty big nights. It's good fun, you know. You do some silly things and it's a bit wild, but it was good fun.
Do you reckon now you're a bit older, if you were to win again with the boys, I know some of the guys at the club would love to celebrate for days, like Adelaide City I think celebrated 3 days in a row.
Yeah, I heard,
do you reckon you'll be able to keep that up as well?
I don't think I would. I might go, you know, 1 or 2 days, but 3's a bit much for me, but that would be good fun. I'm sure the young boys would go for a while. I'm
sure like Adam Martinello maybe and a few others would absolutely love the opportunity to celebrate. For sure. But talking about the celebration as well with the clubs, going back to the club rooms is a huge thing. With Adelaide City, they celebrated till 3 a.m, but they did that at their club rooms in Oakton. Unfortunately, in the last couple of years, you've been a little bit, you're pretty much homeless. You've been playing at different places, training different locations. Some of the facilities that I've seen that you guys have to train in aren't really the best top quality for State League, State League or NPL here in South Australia. But you've got the new facility coming up very, very soon. Hopefully you'll be able to move in there for 2023 at the start of the season. What would that mean to you and the club to finally have the brand new home ready to go for the new season?
Yeah, I don't think anyone knows sort of what it's going to mean, because we've just been in this place where it's, you know, it's a dog park by day, and then, you know, we use it as a pitch to play on at night. You know, it's we haven't had good facilities, but that's I guess part of the process. But you know, to have all the juniors, all the first teams, you know, not only just have the whole club together, because this year even we've had the first team training at John Hart, the reserves and 18s at Velo, So then the juniors are scattered everywhere. So, and even when I was a junior, we used to play games at Regency, some at Hudson. It's never been all in one place. So that would just be amazing to have everything in one place, and have your functions and have your dinners all in one place would just be something else.
Do you reckon the atmosphere and culture at the club will kind of shift to what it was previously, and having everyone at one now, because everyone will be there able to go and watch games and have a place to hang out afterwards? Do you reckon it will change the culture a little bit as well for the better?
You would hope so, but you also need the people around it to build that culture, because you can have a building, but it doesn't really mean much if you don't have the right people involved, and I think we do. So that will be as long as those people are around to drive that culture, we'll be fine.
Yep, and I've seen the grandstand looks incredible. The new stand, great. The seats there as well. CFC written in the stands as well. But there's no name yet on the top of the grandstand. Do you reckon there'll be Luke Klimek up there one day, the Luke Klimek grandstand, or the Łukasz grandstand?
I don't know.
Got to dream big, don't you?
Yeah. That's
too big for you.
Yeah, too big.
Yeah,
too big. Too big.
Nah, but it's actually, just a little jokes aside though, it's going to be a great facility for the club. But in comparison to the old Polonia and the new Polonia now, do you think, obviously you can't go back on with the reason why you had to move is obviously with the South Road Expressway being built, and you guys were forced out, unfortunately. But do you think what would be the big differences between that one and the positive differences from with this new one now, from moving from the old one?
Yeah, it's obviously a new facility. Polonia Reserve was pretty run down by the stage that we left, so it was built in, I think, 1950s, 1960s. Jeez, yeah. So yeah, it was quite old and run down and needed a lot of work. So you look at the new place will be, everything's new. It's the best of the best. So. I think the part where we are all together, juniors first team, will be massive, which is something we didn't have even at Polonia Reserve. It was always first team and your 23s and 18s are at Polonia Reserve, and then the juniors kind of use it when they can. But yeah, that will be a huge positive for the club going forward. Looking forward to coming down and hopefully calling some games from the new Polonia Park. It'll be good to be down there and see games there, and it's good to see grandstands being built as well for these venues, because it just creates a different atmosphere and hopefully brings a unique atmosphere to the game as well. Yeah, that's right. You want to see a packed grandstand when you're playing. You want to see a lot of people at the games, and it just brings a different level to the whole, to everyone's enjoyment of the game. So yeah. Now, the current coach now is Travis Dodd, who is a former Adelaide United player, played very well, former Socceroos, played everywhere. He was a great player back in his day. Now he's trying to get into senior coaching. So this is his second year in coaching, senior coaching in the NPL. Next year is going to be his third. What's it been like having him as a coach at Croydon FC? Yeah, it's been, I guess, a bit of a rocky road for us these last 2 years. Well, especially the first year. Second year has been a bit more stable. So, Trav's still finding his feet. It takes a bit of time to get yourself familiar with being actually a first team coach and not an assistant. But he's got a good knowledge of the game, and he's got so much experience. Yeah, and, he's done it for so long at such a high level. So whenever you've got someone at that level, you just got to listen and try to learn from them. Yeah. Well, this year, some of the players, you got some good players and young players coming through as well. What are
what's the signs of what you're seeing at the moment? What are the signs showing for the future of the club and also the team?
Yeah, I think it's bright. We've got a lot of young, talented players. You look at players like Adam Martinello, Chris Vivian, there's Fro, who's just kind of come out of nowhere. Seb Good, we've got Christos. There's so many good young players, which sort of just need to take that next step to, I guess, go for that championship, instead of, being satisfied with the finals. And that will be I think their next goal is to get that consistency and, try to lead the team to a championship. That's the ultimate goal. You
were getting close there this year and just missed out in the, by close, I mean, like, you got into the finals. Finals weren't looking at an option for you in 2022, but it became harder and harder and harder as the weeks went on. But you finally got to beat Comets in the final round, which was a shock because everyone was expecting FK Beograd to make the finals, and you guys got the last spot and knocked them out. So what was it like to get that bit of relief that you guys made the finals, even though you got knocked out in the first round?
Yeah, I think everyone was buzzing, Yeah, that's your goal at the start of the year, is to make finals. And we had a pretty poor run in the middle of the season and kind of set us back because we had such a good start to the season, and we were in the top 2-3, so we were really in the mix. But that kind of middle of the season really dropped us back, and then that game against Comets, we weren't expected to win, and we're sort of hoping for another result, which sort of thought there was the case because it was only either United or Belgrade to lose or draw. So sort of we're pretty hopeful that as long as we got the job done, that one of those teams would either lose or draw. So it worked out for us and got into the finals. So
the next week was harder though because you ended up playing at their home, which is the State Centre of Football. You end up unfortunately losing that game to them, but it was. You could have gone, if you won that week, the next week you would have played Metro Stars, which would have been interesting as well for the coach as well, because he'd be coaching again against his best mate and former coach as well when he was at Metro Stars with Robbie Saracino. So that would have been an interesting one for you guys to get that far. But next year, do you want to go one step further? Do you reckon you can go one step further and get further in the finals?
Yeah, of course. Probably wouldn't be playing if I didn't think I was if we had a chance to get to that next level and be champions. We've got a lot of work to do, but we've got a strong squad and we just need to add a few pieces. But why not? Why not us? So
yeah. I've enjoyed all of this chat about the club and getting to know you a little bit differently. But now we've got to go into the other section of my chat with you, which is the kicking it questions. I enjoy this because I find a different side of my guests all the time and get an insight to their life as well. But the first question, you probably thought about these. I don't know, have you?
Little thing.
Yeah, a little thing. All right. So who would you love to kick it with on the park? Anyone in the world?
Zidane.
Zidane.
Yeah,
nice.
He was my favourite player growing up. Back in when he was at Real Madrid, that was the player that I kind of wanted to be like. You kind of look at the videos and you're like, oh, I want to do this turn and do this, do that, and it's sort of why I wear number 5 as well. So,
is it? Yeah. So you wear it for Zidane. There you go.
Yeah.
Does So that's always been your number 5, the whole career?
I've gone between 5 and 10 in the senior team, and he wore number 10 as well.
Yep.
So he was at 10 at Juventus, and I think he wore 10 at Juventus. He definitely wore it for France.
Yeah.
But
There you go. So you're always on stick with either, if it's not 5, it's number 10?
Yeah, number 5's been predominantly, but I did go for a little time with number 10.
There we go. What would what were some of your favourite memories of watching him when you were younger?
Well, probably the goal in the Champions League final. That would be number one. You know, that left foot volley. That was pretty amazing. But even the run, I think it was 2006 World Cup when Italy won. He was pretty dominant then. You know, even that penalty he scored. You know, it's pretty. Oh, it's just amazing to have the balls to do that in the final. But he dominated that whole tournament, and you know, carried France to the final, and unfortunately didn't get the job done. But I think he was player of the tournament then.
Now, the second one is, who would you love to kick it with on a Saturday night? 2 people, someone locally and someone internationally. So kick it with and watch some football and maybe have a few drinks, or depending on how rowdy you are these days. Or you can choose 2 local people or 2 international, whatever you want.
Yeah, so local, I reckon if we're having a drink, I would probably say my old captain, Michael Papatralumbus.
Okay.
Yeah, we had some good nights out with him.
Still keep in touch with him?
Yeah. Yeah, so he was captain back in 2010 when we won the championship. But international, I guess someone left field, go LeBron James.
LeBron James, there you go.
Yeah.
Any reason for that choice, or?
He seems like a smart guy, and you know he would kind of know where to go, and he would know everyone, so he'd get you in anywhere. So
you go overseas into the States and have a drink out there?
Yeah, why not? Yeah,
that'd be good actually.
Maybe Vegas or something.
Yeah, Vegas.
Yeah.
Can you imagine bringing some of the boys from Croydon to Vegas? That'll be.
Yeah, no, I don't think that's a good idea.
It probably wouldn't be, would it? Not even some of the NPL and WNPL players. I don't think would. I don't think it would be great for the media teams.
Yeah, it'd be a few guys locked up, I think. So
it would be interesting, but it's all a bit of fun at the end of the day. But mate, I've really enjoyed chatting to you and getting to learn a different side of you. And 350 games for the one club. I didn't ask you this before, but 450. 500?
Yeah, I think that's a bit ambitious, you know. We'll see how we go.
400 is the next one, so you're about another season, just over a season away.
Yeah, so 400 would be 2 seasons, so we'll see. It's, 2 seasons is a long time away, but you never know.
Yep.
As long as the body holds up and, still playing at that level, you never know.
Yep. Oh, I'll make sure I get the exact number right next time on the commentary. Make sure we know exactly what number it is. But doesn't matter. You got to celebrate it 3 times. But thank you for joining me, Luke. I really appreciated your time.
No worries. Thank you for having me on, and appreciate what you do for the local game. It's an amazing thing you're doing, and hope you keep going.
Yeah, thank you so much, man. I love it. And people getting to chat to people like you is the perks of of what I do.
Thank you.
That was the captain of Croydon FC in the NPL in South Australia, Łukasz Klimek. Make sure you subscribe to Kicking It Local wherever you get your podcasts so you can get a taste of the SA football community. Plus, follow Kicking It Local SA on Instagram and Twitter so you don't miss any of the action. See you soon.